Okay, it's 6:33. I'd like to call this October 5th budget workshop, Rye Township Budget Workshop meeting to order. Is there any citizen participation at this time?
Yes, please,
Yeah, Charlie.
if I may.
Yeah, if you would introduce yourself and
Certainly.
then,
Stand up as a-
you're fine, yes, stand
Well,
up,
let's
fine.
give it your time.
Okay, in any case, pardon me and thank you for letting me come in as a guest. I'm not in Rye Township. I'm actually the chair of the Finance Committee and also the vice chair of the Borough Council in Marysville. I was expecting to have some of the folks from the fire company, they wanted to say a few words as well, so I was hoping to follow them. Just a few various sundries. One, I wanted to just relay, several folks this year at the pool had asked, from Rye Township, and asked, oh, can we get a discounted rate on pool memberships? And we had to turn them aside and say, well, no, that's only for Marysville Borough residents. But if Rye Township decides anytime in the future to contribute toward the pool itself, we can make that available to the members of Rye Township as well for discounted pool memberships for the year.
Is that, we sometimes hear that, is that a lot of people that have requested
I
that,
don't
or is
have
it
a
two
count.
people? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I've gotten that secondhand from the folks who run the pool saying, yeah, the one thing they have to do is, you know, if they say, oh, I'm from Marysville, okay, well, what's your actual address, double check,
Right.
oh, that's actually this area or this area. So yeah, the majority of them are Marysville actual residents, but then the ones who are from Rye Township, I don't have an actual count though, so.
Okay.
But it's more than 2 or 3, from what I
Okay.
understand.
Okay, thank you.
But fair question. I was hoping to follow up with the fire company. They had some charts on the number of calls, comparative for Rye Township versus Marysville, you know, what their relative load is on that. I'll let that for them to present when they finally do come by. The numbers that I had to share though, Marysville's contribution to the fire company above and beyond the typical citizen donations that still stand. We specifically put a 0.25 millage rate on the property tax for the fire company. And we did that on purpose, specifically facing, as you know, the Rockville development. As that expanded, that way the millage rate would be applied to that and it would go up as more houses come in. So in any case, what that was in 2022, that added up to about $45,000 passed through directly to the fire company. And like I said, with the millage rate, that was nice. We set it and forget it, essentially. That
Do you
was,
pay that quarterly?
we pay that as it comes in. I think it's like every 6 months or so.
Okay.
So that comes in, we pass it along to the fire company and they get that. Plus, we also had the conversation just earlier this month about the insurance rates
Yes.
for the workers' comp. And
Yes.
I'll divvy that up. But I understand that's resolved. We're on a decent field as to
She
having
hasn't
the
got in
insurance
touch
company.
with me,
Oh, okay,
not yet.
okay. But it's my understanding that we'll let the insurance company figure out, and they indicated to us that it's set by population. So we were looking at comparing again caseloads, you know, how many actual calls there were, one versus the other, and they said, no, even though that's fairly evenly split, it's just by population. So what the original rate was seems to be what we're gonna be stuck with, at least until the next census 2030, essentially.
Well, our population went down
From when to
in
when.
Rye from 2010.
And they,
2020.
right, the value that you got is set by the 2020 census.
And it should be down, and it isn't, it's up. The cost is up. And may I just make a suggestion, because I don't know, but I would check your costs. I know you've been with the same insurance company for quite a few years, and that's good. I know that there's trust there, and that certainly has some goodwill value. But I would check on that, because what we're paying Shermansdale is a lot less. Now, that's more sparse out there, but they're coming further in. I think we paid them like, it was less than $1,000. And your request was over $3,800. And we only I noticed you only budgeted $3,500. I've been checking it out because Marysville only budgeted $3,500 this year. So it was actually more than what you budgeted, what you would think you'd get from us. So it was high. I think we could both agree that it came in high this year. So, you know, that, I don't know where we're at with it. So maybe she'll get in touch with me with some more details.
Okay.
You know. I just requested that maybe, since our population went down, and you guys are getting much more population in there, that possibly the ratio needs adjusted. I didn't mean by thousands of dollars,
Right.
but possibly it needed
And that was
adjusted.
reflected in your letter, that, you know,
Yes.
it was a meager
Yes,
adjustment
that's all I
there,
was
essentially.
asking for, reconsideration.
Yeah, that population wasn't reflected in the 2020 census as much. They didn't get that much of growth by that time. And there was growth on the Rockville side, some other adjustments elsewhere, so.
Yeah, I'm
you know,
sure in
it's-
2020, I think, because of COVID, I don't think we got the best numbers. That's the consensus I'm getting when Tri-County's been talking about it, Perry County's been talking about it. So, I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how we lost some people too, unfortunately.
And so the coverage of the fire company area, I'm looking up at your map here. Proportionally for Rye Township, Marysville covers what percent of your population in general? Do you have a sense of that? As opposed to the Shermansdale? Not
I don't know
acreage,
if
but
somebody
population.
told me like 46%, something, don't quote me on that, but around 45, 46%, I've heard that somewhere. I'd have to talk to Mike Minnick, because we had gone through this before.
But you're thinking it's more around the half than the 3/4 size?
Yeah.
Because we were trying to figure that out as well, you know, is
It's
Shermansdale
about,
only like
Lamb's
a
Gap is
third
about
of
the
half?
middle of Rye, although the denser population obviously is in there.
Right.
I can tell you that our urbanized area, which runs down towards New Valley, it only has a population of 290 people in that. So now our population is probably the developments, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know where I would get those statistics from. I was having trouble getting 2020 statistics for my urbanized areas.
Okay.
I couldn't find them. So I don't know if they didn't post them yet or what, but I could not find them. Couldn't find them on all of the, wherever I can find the demographics for Rye Township.
And I can give you blocks and block groups. I'm not sure about how your urbanized area is defined
Yeah.
in this area.
Well, I have that that was 2010. So
The
that
2020
should,
census has been out for a while
right.
now. So.
And they did, I thought it would be updated. I knew it took a little longer because of COVID.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find that population data I was looking for an MS4 application we're working on. So.
That's, which my ears perked up. I wanted to ask you about that later too. But in any case, so other figures, this is actually 2021 community household survey from the census, which is not, it's still what they use for economic statistics comparatively, that Marysville's median household income was $66,000 versus Rye Township's median household income was $89,700. So, you know, in terms of proportionally what we're looking for, you know, what the fire company would be expecting to get. If our contribution was $45,000, I'm not sure what your contribution is. Just, you know, not the workers' comp, but the overall contribution. Just wanted to bring those numbers up. Hopefully the fire company will follow up later on.
Well, Marysville Borough, you're doing 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they should be paying more. I don't think we disagree on that. Yeah, the median income is high in Rye Township because of some of the nice developments that we do.
Do you know what your contribution was?
Last year it was between 24 and 25,000.
All right. Just out of curiosity, if I can, if you don't, you know, if I'm going wrong, feel free to cut me off.
No, this is
Ask
good.
about MS four.
Okay.
What? So I thought that, and I was told, Marysville Borough is the only one affected by MS four. Do y'all have an application for it?
We have a waiver.
Application for waiver.
We had
That's what we did then.
the last two times we got a waiver. It goes, well, you know, the eligibility, the
Yep,
population and that,
How they draw the line.
yes.
Yes.
And, so yes, and I also went out on, I think it's called Rural America. Marysville Borough is the only urban area in Perry County. I guess you know that.
In this context. Yeah.
So, but that helps us because we're rural, you know. that's how, one of the things one of the criteria is the population.
I know our engineers commented that 4 or 5 years hence, once this term is passed, they're looking at redoing the next term, saying, okay, another round. For us, it'll mean another round of required renovations and to our stormwater runoff, et cetera. You know, we're looking at $38 per property stormwater fee to assess, plus more for all the commercials proportionally as well.
It'll come to that because it's a non-funded mandate.
And that's quarterly, that's not yearly. Right, it comes to that, and it's a bitter pill for the population to swallow. But in any case, 4 to 5 years hence, you know, this is only covering that time period, and then the engineer's saying, after that, they'll probably reevaluate for us, give a whole new set, and also redraw the map, so.
Yes, they might
So you
redraw
might-
the map.
Exactly.
Because
So
ours basically stayed the same.
you might be able to waive it this time, but
Yeah, yeah.
good luck.
5
next
years,
time.
every 5 years we can get, but is good. Because it, like you said, it's a burden on the people, it's an unfunded mandate, so.
Wonderful, that's all I wanted to say. Did you have any questions for me while I'm here?
Oh, yeah. Are you staying for the whole meeting, or?
I could stay for a while. This would be my 5th meeting this
Oh,
week,
cool.
so.
Yeah, I
committee
I
meetings
hear
and
you.
then another one on Monday, but if you have any questions.
I do. I have a question. I saw that your trash rates went up. May I ask what they were? And I saw it was 120, because I saw it in the newsletter, and so what was it?
It roughly doubled.
It doubled.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm hearing.
And when they, we only had one bid, admittedly. But
Yeah,
we looked at it and frankly,
yeah,
The same problem we face.
same thing we have.
and they came to us but also gave comparative rates for everyone in the surrounding area, saying, here's when they put in their contract, here's what the previous value is, here's what the new value is. And across the board, whether it was waste management or Penn Waste, or anybody, it was the same issue. So I actually had one resident say, okay, it's time to just take half of the Lions Club and make it into a trash area, and we can just, you know, put a new dump there, and then we'll solve that problem,
It's
right?
a problem.
Not quite that easy
Well,
though, is it?
yeah. So right beside the creek, yeah.
Waste
That's
waste
a great idea.
management, who you ended up with that? Who you
I
had?
think so, but I'm not, don't put me on record on that. I think it
Was it
Race.
Republic? You don't remember?
Did the others
It didn't
comment, you said a couple of them, you only had one bid.
We only had one bid, and it was the same, I think it was Waste Management prior as well. It's the same company that it was
Oh,
prior.
okay, then it's really.
The prior time, you know, 5 years ago when they did the prior bid, they were an obvious outlier on the low end. And they came to the meeting, we approved their bid, and they left in a huff because they knew they messed up, essentially.
They're gaining it back now.
Yeah, they are, but then, you know, that was our
So
first
bad.
thought, but then again, when we looked at the other bids, it was like,
Yeah.
you know, if we go through the process of putting this out for rebid again, then we face 2 months of no trash pickup potentially,
Oh, Lord.
and then turn around and head in with a, you know, double raise anyway, you know, that's not gonna fly. So just, you know, take your lumps.
Those who you approached that no bid, did they indicate why?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the same situation.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's the way it is.
I mean, basically.
They
yeah.
gotcha. And people are, I don't know how they are in there, but I have a feeling it's the same way. They're really particular about their trash. Don't miss their trash pickup. You
Well,
know.
it's an important,
It's very,
Service.
it is. I mean, but occasionally somebody will, I don't know if the driver might be on the phone or what, he'll just drive by and miss somebody. And you know, if they're really concerned, are they gonna come to pick up my trash? You know,
our contract has a penalty written in there on a case-by-case basis, and we have no problem chasing those instances, and, you know, it requires, if the homeowner calls us and says, okay, they missed our trash this morning,
right.
fine, we contact them, and
We
they still
do
have
that
another,
too,
okay, so, yeah.
We don't, try not to penalize though the people that have been pretty good to us, but they now have cameras on their trucks. So they actually can show us, the people will say, oh yes, it was out by 6, and they've got a camera showing
17
no
cameras.
can.
Who's your trash
17.
pickup?
Penways.
Oh, you're just there with Penways.
17 cameras on that truck.
Holy cow.
No, that's a whole lot.
They actually, I should mention, there was only one company that bid, but they gave us 5 different options, and we took the lowest one. The other ones included, we'll give you the new trash cans, will come through with an automated one person, sit up, the line, collect the
That
whole
should have
thing.
been less labor.
And it was more expensive.
That don't make sense.
Even in the long term, it was
Did
more
they
expensive.
indicate why that would be more expensive?
Because they had to buy another truck.
Oh, but why wouldn't they?
Why give the offer? I mean,
Right, it made no sense, like, okay, this
Do you
should be
still
more
have the
automated.
recycling? They still?
Yeah,
okay.
see, that's
And
more.
do they actually recycle that, or I was speaking with someone that said they don't think it goes to a recycling center.
On the recycling, I'll answer your question in a second. We did actually pick up about a $12,000 grant towards our recycling as well, so that, that helps. So that helps with the offset, not all that much, but every little bit counts.
Absolutely.
As for where it goes, yes, they use the same trucks, which could be legitimate or might not. Where it goes afterwards, I don't know.
You never
Yeah,
followed them, huh?
Right. I have seen them previously take the trash can and take the recycle and
Because
On
it
the
all
same
goes-
run.
Because it all goes the same.
all go to the same place essentially,
Yep.
but I have not seen that for 4 years.
Okay.
So, nowadays, but it is the same truck, they'll get all the trash
That truck don't
and then
segregate.
circle around and then here comes the
Yeah.
recycle, so
Mhm.
they might be doing that for show or might not. It's best,
It's
I
usually a
recognize on
separate
the other
truck.
end, frankly, it's not worth all that much on their end either. They're having
No.
trouble with storage and
Yes.
nobody wants to buy the plastics or the paper anymore. The metals, by the time you fish through them,
it's not worth that much
It's
either.
not.
I mean,
right?
I was told the only thing that's worthwhile is cardboard. They can get rid of that yet. But pretty
Oh,
much
the
everything.
cardboard is one for it. I thought it was metals.
No, cardboard is what.
Well, some of the metals are,
Yeah, it's aluminum.
yeah.
But
Okay.
most of
They'll
it,
probably
just the
some-
cardboard.
it's
The rest of
scrap,
it,
I
they just
don't
junk
know.
in. Yeah, it's
Okay,
unfortunate.
well, thank you, that's
But yeah,
helpful.
the recycling
I
is
thought
more
it
than
must have been a
outreach.
lot for you to change I know your contract runs differently, but to start in this year, ours goes, till the end of the year.
That was when it expired, so.
That was when it
we-
expired.
That's when we had to have bids by, so we had the bids a month ahead of time and we're ready to change and we're like, this is all we got, Option 1, we take them, option 2, we go without trash pickup for a couple months while we get new bids.
You have a, buy a truck and do it yourself.
Oh, my glory.
You know what, yeah, which does Penn Township do that, or is it, all the way up in Duncannon? Actually, they do trash pickup, their own trash pickup?
Duncannon used to, but I
Used
don't
to. I
know
don't
if they
think
do
they
that
do it
anymore. I don't know if they do their own.
If they're smart, they're
I
not.
heard that secondhand, and the downside there, of course, is the insurance rates on your.
everything else.
Yeah, I used to see their truck out, but I haven't seen it for a long time.
But yeah, we thought about that, okay, well, we can buy a truck and have our guys do it, oh, wait a minute, what about the insurance rates, et cetera, but, because we could do the dumping ourselves, run back and forth, but.
You still have the bulk item though, correct?
What's that?
You still have the bulk item, the large item that you can sit out at the curbside?
The bulk item is on that too, yeah, it's
Yep.
4 trash bags plus 1 potential bulk item at any time. That's the way the contract was written, and we were thankful for that, honestly. Not even calling unless it's a mattress or a refrigerator.
Something, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you all.
Thank you, you bet.
And how is your budget process coming, or what, or you don't wanna say? This is preliminary.
No, it is preliminary. We are very pained, unfortunately. We have gone through 3 supervisors in the last 2 years. And as you can imagine, the handoffs from one to another have been problematic. We still do not have 2022 figures quite right. So a lot of our budgeting this year is really a shot in the dark, and we are struggling this year because of that. Because of the changes in the supervisor. Doing the best we can.
I did notice, this is just a side note, but I need to stop talking. But I noticed on your budget that you have $5,000 for per capita tax. And you have more people than we do.
Oh, the total per capita tax,
Mhm.
yeah.
That seemed kind of low to me.
It's not all in yet, for one thing.
Well, no, this was your budget you accepted.
Oh, the actual budget, okay,
The
not,
actual
not
budget
the,
itself.
not the budget, not the actual figures. so
No,
far
no,
this
I
year.
didn't see that. I didn't see when you were to do
I don't
it.
recall.
You'll have to just check it.
But yeah,
I'm just trying to be helpful. You know, maybe there's some work you could do there. I mean,
We
it's
have
not
those
a big
figures out
ticket,
front.
but like you said, the little bit, every little bit helps.
one thing we've been surprised at, you know, with the Rockville estates moving in, we figured, oh, okay, household income tax probably will go up, maybe not the property tax so much, but frankly, those are rich houses.
They are.
They're $600,000, $700,000 houses, et cetera, so we figured that would go up, but the income didn't go up as fast as we expected, so, but maybe they're still moving in, maybe they're still, you know, getting themselves
Switching
straight.
over.
Yeah, switching over, et cetera, and maybe property tax isn't quite up to date as it should be.
When you look, when you get your reports, I don't know if you get those or not every
From Cap
month
Tax.
from Cap Tax.
Yeah.
Check your reports, because you'll get what you're getting and, you know, have that broken down. But you will also get like an Excel spreadsheet
Mhm.
with everybody who's paid their earned
Yeah.
income.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to see who's on your per capita tax duplicate.
Right.
So-
Duplicate?
Your tax duplicate, yeah. Everybody that pays taxes?
Not duplicate records, but.
No, your tax duplicate that you get from the county.
okay.
Maybe you have it on, I have a CD, I don't know. But you should have a copy of
I'm
it.
familiar with the Excel spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting when we turned around to cap tax, not going on, sorry, but, when we actually challenged them, not last year, but the year before, and said, you know, hey, we got this figure, and this doesn't seem to be adding up. The very next month, they found a lot of money that they hadn't found previously, but that was interesting, and we appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Best wishes, good luck on your, budget.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
Sure, I got some then about the budget. So I'll start with the earned income tax amounts. According to the 2022 audit report, in 2022, the township collected $392,483 in earned income. The budgeted amount that year was $296,000. That is a surplus of $96,483. So I'm wondering, how can we be that far off? In 2023, the budgeted revenue for the earned income taxes was $311,000, which the actual collected over the last 6 years was well over that, except for 1 year, which was 2018, where it was slightly under at $309,000. So that's all the history available in the 2022 audit. So my comment is why are we so grossly underestimating our earned income taxes? Next, I'll move to the solid waste comment. So, can someone tell me when the township will actually start using its reserves to offset the increased cost of trash collection? In 2022, a fee increase was made, and that went along with the township saying it would also use reserves to cover the remainder of the increase. The reserve amount was anticipated to be $23,000, but per the 2022 audit, there were no reserves used, and the trash account actually had a surplus and grew $1,793. I'll let you say that is true. So why are we so poor at budgeting our solid waste fund? Solid waste fund expenditures are only off by $3,176, so it isn't that the estimated expenditures were incorrect, or that the cleanup bids came in drastically different than budgeted. I feel that it's the lack of planning that our employees' other fund sources get distributed here and aren't ever accounted for in the budget. So beyond the budgeting, why are we not using these reserves more? It's my next comment. All right. So reserves for the township is my next comment. So I have the 2022 audit, and it shows that the township has $2.1 million in cash and cash equivalents and investments for the government activities, and $296,212 for the trash fund. While I understand that some of the current township officials praise the buildup of the rainy day fund, I would like to remind the board that the inflation over the last 2 to 3 years has certainly outpaced the interest rates that the township is able to obtain. With this, while the township has had funds, they're actually losing buying power. My comment is that the township has no problem with overtaxing its residents to just let those funds go stale and actually lose value. Why can't this township use some reserves and reduce the taxes to the residents so the residents can use them better and make the most of the current value? Also, don't preach about keeping the same tax rate for over 30-some years, because we are still one of the higher tax townships in the county. Carroll Township doesn't even have a township real estate tax. So we have all this infrastructure that needs good, permanent, and correct fixes. Can we actually get something done? Listening to pavers about just putting extra asphalt into a hole that's sinking isn't a permanent fix. It doesn't mitigate the underlying problem. And now my last comment that I have. It's about explanation of expenditures. So, at tonight's meeting and future meetings, I would like to request that the board indicate what each expenditure is planned to be used for. An example would be how the township budgeted for 2023 with $12,000 for the township engineer or $2,000 for document management, but had no plan for its use. So I hope you can explain it when you go through tonight. Thank you.
Is that it?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, John, what first hits me, the comment, I feel, and don't preach about not raising taxes. So a lot of this is your opinion. I mean, it's all your
Right,
opinion.
and a lot of it is backed up by what we have, yes.
In your opinion. So what I'm gonna ask Daisy to do, these minutes are recorded, transcribe everything you've said, so we can digest it, because you've obviously taken a lot of time to put your list of questions together.
Mm-hmm.
So transcribe that. We will make comment as appropriate. Again, it's a lot to digest sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
This is here for the determine the budget and how the township is going to spend and allocate resources for 2024. They're not to answer your questions regarding your opinion and how you view and how you see the township should spend the money, because you used to sit here, John, you could participate, you could.
And
you chose
I'm not
not to.
asking
So
you to
John,
answer the
I'm
questions.
gonna look
I'm
at
making
this.
a comment.
This is your opinion, okay?
I know.
We're here to deal with the business of the township, and we will do that. We will take your questions, your concerns under advisement,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
And
But-
I'm
but
just
other than
making
that,
comments
John,
about them.
It's
Yep.
your opinion.
Yep. And I'm making comments about them. Thank you.
And that's it, okay?
Mhm.
So that's.
And I don't expect you to answer them because last year you didn't either. So that's why I'm just making comments.
No, to be clear, John.
No,
Just because we
no,
don't answer
you
them
didn't
to
answer
your
them, and then when you
satisfaction-
got to the actual budget meeting to
Yeah.
approve them, you said, well, you could have asked the questions then. So I'm going to state that this is only comment. You don't even have to answer them.
John, regardless of the response that is given back to you, you characterize it as no response. Or if you don't agree with it, you just.
It isn't a response.
you
If you
agree
don't
with it,
respond, that is no
and-
response.
And then you make statements such as we are preaching, and you make suggestions that there is malfeasance or under improper conduct, unwise spending. It's just not spent how you see it, so we're good.
Well,
It's just-
That is an opinion, yes.
Mhm.
And I have a comment about that opinion. That's what
Okay,
my
well,
comment is.
and
Thank
that's how
you.
we're gonna treat, so thank you for
I
your
know.
comment.
Thank you for listening to it.
Okay.
I hope we can make something better of it. Thank you.
Okay. That said, let's move on to the business of the budget. Daisy, would you like to?
Okay, there's a lot of holes in the general fund budget. If you look at the worksheet that I don't have figures placed in there. The taxes for one thing. I started to do them and I thought, I'm just gonna wait and try to get a better handle on, are we keeping them the same? Are we going to raise them? And if yes, we talked a little bit about that. It has been a while. I don't want to see anyone's taxes go up. It's just always, everything's been going up. It's, it, I know it. But at the same time, it has been 30 years at least. I don't know before me, but, and when I first started, I didn't have anything to do with the finances. But that's just what I didn't know. I just wanted more direction, and I also need to get from Randy Wagner. We do have a different, I mean, I have the tax duplicate, but I want to make sure whatever I'm figuring, if we're going to increase them, comes from the right amount of assessment. You know, and I know he said he's going to be doing some more interims for us, which is wonderful. That's my thought on the tax schedule part of it, which is the beginning of the revenues for the general fund. Some of them are, I mean, you're welcome to change them. I did put some recommendations in some of the amounts there as we go down through them. One thing I wasn't sure about was, we're talking about fines. And I did estimate that a round figure would be by June of 2024, when the CDs, there's one in May and I think there's one or two in June. And that's on page 2 of the revenues. If you look at transfer from capital reserve, that would be our ARC monies. And then if there's anything else you want to transfer from there as we're going through this, we would add that to it. But I just left the ARC amount there.
That's 392, 300?
No, oh yes, 392, 310,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's the account number, yes, I thought you meant that was the number. 263,000. And here is a suggestion of some of the things that has been talked about. That's okay.
There you go.
They're just suggestions, and I took them from some, the quote that we have for the tractor and some other things that have been talked about in the past, since we got the ARP monies.
You guys' thoughts on, maybe getting some money from the grant to buy a tractor, and maybe doing any part money for the culvert down here.
We don't have an estimate on the culvert yet.
Not yet, I'm waiting to hear back from Max. He said the survey was supposed to be done, I think, last week. And it was supposed to be done this week, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. And he was supposed to have the results to him, I guess the survey done or whatever, the quote. He was supposed to have it to Max, he said the 9th or 10th. So I don't know if they're closed on Monday or not, but that's when, Burkett was supposed to be doing the survey this week and get the paperwork and results to Max at the beginning of next week. That's the last update I had on that. And then Max will know the flows and all that other stuff they look at. And as far as sizing the pipe, which is going to tell you more a little bit how big the job is going to be, the cost. So we can't really get a good cost for that. Although I did add something from the ARC monies towards that. So I have no idea. I mean, that's just a very quick thing I went down through and saw and thought these are legitimate needs we will have. I thought too we could maybe pick up another road for paving, to keep ahead of our roads and resurfacing, since we have about 26 miles. Rick Levan was out, but I don't know, I hate to say it, but it didn't seem with it. But anyway, he was out to try to give us an estimate, and he even said to me, he goes, I'll come back out some other day. And I thought, well,
I don't know if you got something else going on.
I don't know, but he wasn't with it. He just, I don't know, I don't feel like he gave us his full attention. Maybe it's like an end of a long week or something, I don't know. So there's a couple roads that are being looked at that were taken off of the road history, and I don't have that, so I didn't even start with the liquid fuels budget yet. We did get our estimate, which is over 123,000. I think I sent that around for everyone to see.
And I'm sorry, David, that was the estimate again.
Around 120.
What? Liquid fuel.
From liquid fuels,
okay.
yeah, so we're not even gonna do that tonight if I don't find it. No, it's in here, it's just to find it. Too much stuff in here. And I don't see it. Just gonna look at this one. It's around 123,000. And I think it was Styles Drive, and what was the other one? Oh, Hickory. Over in Bellevue, that we were trying to catch those horizontal,
Small,
the small ones that needed done. We actually had a request several years ago for Chestnut, now that's done. So,
They did a great job with it. The people that don't know what they're doing, they did it.
but that's just some of the things with liquid fuels. I can work on that, that's not a big deal, that's kind of limited. And until Rick gets me a couple better figures there. I mean, he just said, oh, take from your previous one. I'm like, well, that could have changed. We do have what we did before on those roads, but I'd rather he go out and measure it a little bit more accurately for
He did
us.
pretty good on Styles.
Did he?
Yeah, he did all right. And Hickory.
Oh, Hickory,
Yeah.
okay. And then Brad was also saying there's a section of Lamb's Gap that needs some base repair done. If you've seen some holes, just little holes, they're not real bad, but some base repair needs done there on a portion of Lamb's.
Have we looked at the end of, Reed Drive, right where it meets Mount Hampton?
Yeah, that's.
Cause that's been coming apart for
Oh,
years.
really?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
that's
Cherry,
when we
right
moved.
there at Cherry too, it's bad, right on.
Right where it meets or,
Yeah.
Well, you could do a portion of that also, pick up a portion there. Maybe that would be one to look at when Rick said he would come. You gotta give him a
Yeah.
call, just get on it.
I'll-
and Hickory's the next one, next to Chestnut,
Yeah.
right? You come up,
I'm not sure which way it goes.
Well,
Yeah, you're gonna hit Chestnut.
Are you
first,
going
and then
north?
you'll hit-
and the next
Is it
one
to
is
the
Hickory.
Where you used to live,
Yeah,
that's,
but the first one's Chestnut,
Yeah,
and then
the next
Hickory's the
one.
next one. Okay, that's it. That's a short road.
yeah.
It is very short. That's what I said. Pick up some of these smaller ones, to try to keep, the ones that we're looking at, that haven't been done since 95, 96, 97.
Probably get the older one.
Yeah, the older roads, and even, but I guess, so it goes too by how much traffic is on that road. So, they've lasted as long as they have because they only
Not
have a couple
a
homes
whole lot
on
of
it,
traffic, yeah.
That's what it is. But anyway, I just gave you that for the line item for capital reserve, because I put them in capital reserve, our big CDs. There's I'm just gonna say $3,000 in the general, that's still in the general fund. When you get your bank recs, you see those, there's about $3,000 in the general. So if you add 3,000 to, I think I did add 3,000 to that. That's how we got the 263,000. And we might get a little bit more interest, maybe depending on when you spend them. Because Penny right now, and I think they will continue to have a no penalty CD, so I can dump that if we're not ready to spend 100,000 of it. We'll dump it into that no penalty CD, and you will get a little more interest. So,
When does art money need to be spent, or at least assigned?
By the end of the year.
Is it by the
By the end of this year.
Yes, they have to be obligated by a written contract.
obligated? Okay.
Yeah, they have to be obligated. So yeah, that's why that's what makes it a little more complex.
How narrow of a definition do we have to use for that? I mean,
What
as
you-
to what you intend to spend it on.
We went with the general
doesn't-
thing, so,
okay.
we can't use it for pension or for debt reduction, that kind of thing.
Right,
Which
But
I did
anything
write
else
that
is-
on there for you, so,
yeah,
you knew that, but pension is a no-no,
yeah.
anything like
So by end of 2024, it's obligated, not
that.
23.
Not 23, no,
Okay, that's
no, not
that
this
was
year.
the case, I
Next
just
year,
want to
that
be sure.
That's why we invested it, so we can
Yeah.
keep it, and we made, we only got about 250, a little over 250,000. So we're making about $13,000 in interest, which helps. He just said he got a grant for 12,000, we got 13,000 in interest. that money needs to be, funneled up through the expenses and what you need to tell me. And you can think about this. I mean, we're not gonna have this budget done tonight. We never have, never. So, you can look at that and, let me know what you think and help me to plug it in where you want it, and see where we stand.
And just asking the question, we could use the entire amount on roads if we decide to do that.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
There's no, hey, you can only use 50% towards roads. I
No,
just wanted to
no.
show that we were.
You could use it for
Understand.
payroll. People have used it. The one, lady I saw up at the convention, they used their payroll, they paid their payroll with, now they didn't get a lot. I forget where they were from, up towards Juniata somewhere. It's a very small little township. But they used it, she said we used it all for payroll, because she said then, I said, for your payroll, but you're gonna pay that anyway. And she said, well, our thought was, we'll pay that, and then we'll have more of our money coming in to spend for other
Other
things.
stuff.
So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, but that's what they did. So yes, you can use it for general things like that, almost anything except pension, and we don't have any debt reduction, but something like that you can't use it for. So it's very, very general. It started out very, very restrictive. And then the federal government, I think, realized, they realized all these little municipalities, how are they gonna monitor all that and all these restrictions? So they started, making it, and they made it much easier. The reporting and everything is much easier. I don't have to go in there and say, oh, we spent $10,000 on Hickory Road. I don't have to say that. I could just say road improvement. I don't have to detail everything. So it makes it a lot easier. I mean, that's what PSATS is telling us. And I did do our report last April, and I'll have to do it again. It wasn't hard because I just had 0. We didn't spend anything. So unless we spend something between now and March, which I don't think we will because the money's still in the CD, so it'll be 0 again. But then the following year is when you're going to have the report that needs to be done, a little more complex. But it's still not difficult. I mean, like I said, you don't have to think, oh, how much did I use in labor? How much? No, they don't want all that. It'll just be your account numbers, like what road project or a culvert replacement or whatever. Or equipment, capital equipment. Someone else is building a township, putting an addition on a township building, stuff like that.
Okay, thanks for putting this.
You're welcome. I just thought it might spark your thinking a
Well, that's
little
good.
bit. Some of the things we had to mention have been mentioned, so.
Okay.
The other thing I need to know is, with getting a new tractor, or a newer tractor, whatever we decide on here, how much is that tractor worth, because I can budget for the sale of an asset?
They told me I had 2 different places tell me 25,000.
25,000?
They said tractor with that many hours with a boom mower on. They don't bring anything. They don't bring anything.
Okay.
Because you just stress the tractor. with-
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me find that.
That's what they told me, those places.
Sale of fixed assets is 01-391-100. So we can put 25,000.
That's what he said.
Okay, that's a nice figure. I had no idea.
I'm sorry, what line was that, Daisy?
That was 391,
What page?
oh, I'm sorry, page 2, we're still on page 2. 01-391-100. And then also, the transfer from capital reserve, if you see that 54.9, that is money that's going to be coming in that I have not transferred yet because I do not have the bills yet from New Enterprise. So I did touch base with him and he said, they're trying to get the tickets all sorted out. So whoever gave them the tickets,
Yep, that
the
was
poor girls in the office are trying to
the
figure out.
last
But
one.
he said he was helping. Jim, the estimator, said he was helping because they were so mixed up.
I think they were mixed up last year, too.
They were, Nancy and I did them last year, and I said, please do not give us what you gave us last. We were trying to figure this out. It was difficult, but we did get it figured out. but, cause they gave us the bill, and, but I thought, why didn't they had their tickets, but our tickets were a mess, so and I said, these have to be separate, because some of them are liquid fuels and some of them are general funds, so I need to know how much each project was, plus for liquid fuels report, I can't do my completion report either.
So you have all that.
So I have all that, so I don't have any of that yet. But today he said they can't find the tickets for the last day of paving, so he said, I gotta track them down, they're here somewhere, so that's what he told me.
That should be on the foreman of the paving job, if you ask me.
I would think so,
Because you would think whenever every truck pulled up, give me your tickets.
yeah.
Pretty easy.
One part goes in an envelope for them, and the other part goes in the envelope for Rye Township.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't be that hard.
Put them together, this is Orchard Drive, we're all done now with Orchard, you know.
Well, use 3 different manila envelopes. This is
Yeah,
1, 2, and 3.
That's true,
I mean,
It's nothing.
it's not that hard. I mean, come on.
right,
It isn't like they just started paving like last year. I mean,
no. They've been doing really well. Okay, so, I mean, if that's what that money is, they're anticipated, if you look under 2022, right below, or right above the ARP monies, that's gonna come in from our capital reserve, and there's still, we could bring more of that in. I don't know that we'll need it if you're gonna use some of the ARP monies for paving next year. But we do have another CD that is designated for road projects, so keep that in mind. Alright, if you have any questions about the general fund or any other guidance about anything, anything else you look, we're not doing any capital construction, I put 0 in that. I hadn't heard anything about capital construction, like with a building or another pole building, I don't think we're doing any of that, are we?
I wouldn't plan.
I wouldn't know where we put it, but. So I put 0 in there. The fire companies, obviously, I didn't know how you wanted to handle that. And I thought for sure they would be here tonight. And obviously, he got the same message from fire companies is on page 3, and on 01411, it's in that grouping there. Anytime it's fire, it's 411. So you can see, I'm anticipating that we will be giving through the taxes $30,000. And it's not like a fire tax, like they're talking a separate tax, but it is levied from our taxes. So it's very, very similar, and it is completely kept separate. That's how we get to 30,000. And then below that, the next thing is the fire relief, which that is more restricted monies. I think it's more just for equipment or something you could use, but that's more restricted. They can't use that for just general. And then there's the contributions that we gave. If you look at those 3 items there, and if you count the fire relief, you got $55,000 that they got from Rye Township. I mean, that one came from the state, but we give it to them. It didn't come from our budget, so to speak. It's an in and out kind of thing. But
55, 65? Did you say that?
Did I say 55? It's 65, I'm sorry,
65,000.
65,000.
But that's split in half, right?
That's
Yeah,
split in
yeah.
half.
Which is split in half.
Yeah,
So 41, 411,
411,
411,000,
Yes.
30,000.
that's the tax levy.
Okay.
And that's the, I could probably put that on there. I'll just put levy on, so it's more clear for you on that worksheet. And then the fire relief, and then the other one is the contribution or the donation that you have been giving since 2020. So, when they came here, they were, I mean, Mike and Eddie, they were desperate, and I don't doubt that. They couldn't hold any.
Because the fundraising part was really, really hurting them.
Yeah.
It's still really, really hurting them.
He wouldn't have came here if he wasn't desperate. I mean, that's just, and he just told, someone that I know just this past week that, they are completely caught up. Sherman's Dale is completely caught up, and they're back up where they should be.
And maybe you said this earlier today when you first came in. Alex Caliveris was here the last board meeting, and provided information.
Yes.
Did you get a written, I
I
haven't seen.
I have it here for you. Do you want
Okay.
that now?
No,
It's-
if we
it's
could
too
just
much
take
to
it along.
digest here, but-
Yeah, okay, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
earlier.
I have it here for you. Kevin Fleck brought it out.
Okay. Alex didn't provide us a copy after the meeting, or?
No, he never sent me an
Oh, okay,
electronic
okay.
file,
I
but
just wanna
then
make sure we
Kevin
didn't
brought
drop the
this
ball.
out.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
He said, Kevin was here that night too,
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
behind.
remember, yeah.
Yeah, so he brought it out, and it does look like they're losing money.
Okay,
There's
because,
no
yeah,
doubt they have a need.
No, I don't doubt,
I never doubted
I don't
that,
doubt
no.
it, I mean,
I never doubted that, but, anyway, I think he said we only gave over like between 14 and 15,000, when actually it was more than that.
was that the 24 to 25?
Yeah, 24 to 25 is what we gave.
And I'm sorry, who said 11?
When Alex did his
Alex?
presentation, he
Okay.
said we gave a little over between 14 and 15,000, he said something like that. So,
Would that difference have been
I, he,
anything we can?
I don't think
determine
he counted the, maybe he was just counting the, tax levy monies.
Okay,
So if you add the 10,000 contribution, but,
okay.
I just didn't say anything, because I didn't want to.
Okay, but I mean, he was just talking tax levy.
He might have
about the
been,
10.
he didn't
Okay,
say that,
okay.
but, that's what he must have been looking at, and maybe.
That would make sense then, okay,
Mm,
okay.
Yeah. So that, what are your, I guess it goes back to the tax schedule, the tax levy. Do you want to consider an increase in taxes, in the tax millage?
Is it, to do the increase in the tax levy, or take some of the ARP for this year and commit that to them, and then going forward, because again, I haven't had a chance to look through all of
Right,
that info,
right.
I don't know if anybody else.
No, it just came in
Uh,
just 2 days ago, so.
But as far as committing some of the ARP money to them, I'd be in favor.
oh, I think that's something we need to do, I think that's something we need to do, I mean, because in my opinion, the ARP money or whatever, all that is just us taxpayers just giving back whatever we paid.
Right.
Because I mean,
And we
let's
get-
face
we get a
it, let's
chance to
face
say
it,
where it
let's face it,
goes.
it was our money that they
Yes.
spent, so, I mean, very rarely do we get that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And the fire companies.
and they are definitely, they definitely need it, so.
Not just
yeah.
financially, but for what they.
Well, for,
do.
right, right,
What
they,
they're
they need to
what
know
they're
that,
doing.
right,
Yeah,
I mean,
so is that the 20,000 then that you have
That's,
listed
yeah, that's
here?
what I put
That's
there.
on top of.
I didn't
existing-
know if
Yeah.
you gave him that, you still wanna give him another 20,000.
I would like to be able to double the contribution, but that's.
But they must understand that's this year.
That, right, I know,
Yeah, yeah.
right, this is, yeah.
Well,
Because
so,
this contribution we started was supposed to be for that year.
For- right.
And not that we weren't gonna give anything.
Right.
Then we
But
just-
it just kept doing the same
right.
amount,
It's
right?
kinda like,
but so we'd be doing the existing 14,000-ish plus the 10,000 contribution, plus half of this ARP 20,000 would be doubling.
Mhm.
yes, that would be doubling for everybody.
Yeah.
I'd be in favor of that.
I mean, I am as well, I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that, that's
Please.
fine,
I-
I don't have a problem. Okay. So I can plug that in.
Yeah.
You're right about it being money, just.
It's just, yeah,
I'm,
you're right.
let's just prove that we can actually do something good with it as opposed to probably what a lot of it went to it, though.
Yeah.
But that's
Like a reassessment.
neither here nor,
Like
that's
a-
neither.
Like a reassessment of all the properties at $1.7 million.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
yeah.
well, if you figure, yeah,
40,000 per company, or?
well, if they got 24 and had 20, it'd be about 44, 45,000.
Yeah.
For each company.
For each
Right.
company, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
okay. So you don't, there are other things too that we were talking about raising the taxes for, not
yeah,
just that.
that,
Although we
right.
talked about,
Well, to be clear, this isn't raising the taxes.
no,
to pay that.
this is not raising taxes,
Right.
I'm just talking about the back to the tax levy.
Right.
I've got this down, I've got what you wanna do, so. Next year, the art monies will go away. Right now, it looks real good, so.
No.
No, next year we have to pay for it.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's already a done deal. We can't pay for anything that, we're so far in debt, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I know.
Countries, it'll never recover, never. They're just,
Yeah, I'm not even so sure your great-great-grandkids could dig out of that hole. I
don't think
mean,
they ever would. Nope, it's a shame.
I know.
It's a shame what they put this country, the greatest country in the world. Not anymore.
Okay, so that would be 20, gotcha.
Where does that take us to, Daisy?
I guess we're back to the discussion on the tax levy. Do you wanna keep it the same, or do you wanna give a slight increase?
I'll say keep it the same until we work through the rest of this and determine. I mean, there's no
Sure.
point in saying, yeah, let's raise taxes until we determine there's an absolute need to do it.
Okay, so
Otherwise,
you
it's
want
not
me
a
to,
payment.
I can calculate it on what we
on what we have right now.
Yeah,
And then,
Yeah.
well, I can do that, all right. I did not do that because it wasn't sure.
yeah, yeah.
And it should be going up slightly, if you notice, when I was starting it, I thought, I'm just gonna let that go, but, it should be going up because our assessments are going up.
Mhm.
It will, I've never seen the reassessment have it go down. I know that's what Randy said, and there's a few people that, yes, if they found mistakes or something, you know, a shed was being taxed and it's falling down, or, you know, there's a few people that go down.
There's a couple.
He's right,
It's not many.
but it's not many.
Well, if I recall correctly, the way he explained it was the first year, it's actually supposed to stay even.
Stable, yeah, and I think there's a little give, but
But
it's not.
it's not supposed to go up,
There's a max.
whatever, it's supposed to stay within the
You did
range.
say that it has to be a revenue neutral.
Right.
That's his terminology.
Right.
Pretty much. And if it isn't, then the township has to adjust their millage down.
To get, right,
To
to make everything so it does.
Right, and that's where you have a little leeway.
Right,
Like I said before, I remember with Stanley, it came out to, and I don't remember, we were like at 14.1 mils or something. And we had to lower to the .9, and it came down to like .8976, and this big long number. I said, Stanley, do you wanna do that every time you're doing it? He goes, no. I said, do you think it's okay if we round it to .9? He goes, yeah, you're allowed to do that. So that's what we did, and people got a very, very minimal, didn't
Right.
even realize they got an increase. So that, I mean, that's not gonna help us much, but, that will have to take place if we need to do that. If the assessments, you know, if our millage is too high,
Right.
it'll be pulled down.
alright.
So, we'll see.
As long as the overall number stays the same or reasonable.
Approximately, like I said, I don't remember what it is, there's a little percentage there you're allowed.
Alright.
Cause they can't expect you to be
To be
right
perfect,
spot on,
no,
you
that's
know.
not gonna work.
Okay, well then I think we're okay then for the, general fund. Let's go to the, unless you have any questions on anything, or, oh, wait a second here. What about the mower? I put that in there, and I didn't wanna take for granted. I did put it in so you can see
The page two.
on page 4, road equipment capital purchase. So you can see the 172,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there at the top. And what I did was, I took it from the quote that was provided, and then I added on the hydraulic quick coupler boom head kit. Because I figured that'll save you time, labor, frustration,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
maybe injury, if you get this coupler kit for 1640.
To answer your question that you had for me the other night, Sean.
Yeah.
On the flow.
Yeah.
They changed that now. They use the flow, everything for the mower is for the mower,
Yeah.
everything for the tractor.
It's split.
That
Oh.
was the new
So it's a
proportioning
lot.
valve?
No,
Or is
this
it, or is it, or are they using a two-stage pump now?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said that's around 40 gallons a minute for the
Which-
mower, so.
Yeah, it should be plenty, I would think. Yeah.
And the tractor is what it is.
Right.
They're usually around 25, 30.
Right.
Tractor.
Yeah.
So, I guess what you need to know, are we on board with
Now,
that, or? what?
That was, this is now that was from Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevens.
Now, what about US Municipal? Where's that?
Theirs was 78,000, but me and Johnny found a lot of discrepancies with
Oh, really?
that.
Now it's a different brand between both of them, isn't it?
Oh, they sell different brands.
Yeah.
Tractor's the same, the mower's different, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the tractor would be a John Deere, yeah, but the mower, that was a Mowmaster, this is the Diamond like we have now. but it's
Okay.
upgraded, it's not like that.
Okay.
It's upgraded.
They do actually build them a little different.
But we haven't went to see one of these yet. Now, he said there's one over towards Carlisle, the same tractor, the same mower, everything.
Really?
That we can go look at.
Mhm.
So he says it's not far away, so it's
Yeah.
the same exact tractor. And I wanted to tell you about that flow.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Because I didn't know that until he told me that,
Right.
that they separate that.
They did, okay.
Because Deere was kind of getting on the mower, people, we don't want our hydraulics going into your mower,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The one we have is separated?
No,
No, it's probably all together.
That's-
It's all joined.
Yeah, the tractor we have now, all the hydraulics except the blades are run off the mower, okay? But everything else.
It
is
all,
on
it
the
all, it all,
tractor.
it all circulates through the whole thing
Yep.
instead of being split,
Yep.
so.
To your point, Daisy,
Yes.
leave it in there or not. I don't have I know we did some work on the existing tractor, I know it has 4,500 hours.
I think it's like 5,000.
5,000.
Pretty close to 5,000.
And I thought when I had asked that we get somebody in to give an assessment, an estimate on the repairs, I thought we still had the issue with the dash falling apart. My understanding is
No,
that's
me
all
and Johnny
been.
fixed that. But
Okay.
I talked to the guy down there and I told him your concern, and he said, we can't do anything what you want to do because it doesn't take into account the stress problems with the tractor.
Yeah. Oh, I was more looking at, I thought the dash was still
No, we
falling
got
apart,
that.
so that's
Me
what
and
I was
Johnny
talking
fixed
about.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
fixed that.
We won't be using it this year, they want to fix it.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
we're just working, well.
You're trying to get it through this year.
Well,
We're
they
just trying to
said.
get it through this year, because it still isn't working right.
Well, Johnny came back, was that
Yeah,
today
the
or
adjusters
yesterday?
Was that,
Jordan?
I know I talked to him, the arm in the past wasn't staying up, and that was due to a proportioning valve or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think what's
That was
happening
replaced.
is the big SCV valve in the back is bad. They get bad, and that's gonna be a big ticket item there, that has a lot, I think that has like maybe 15 different.
Can I
ports.
pour ports on it?
Yeah, 15 to 20 ports.
That's a bad part. Well, that
I'm glad you
hydraulic
guys
stuff.
understand.
No.
Okay, so am I to leave that on there, is that what I'm understanding?
Well, again, this is just the budget, this is
Yeah,
the work,
but
this is no commitment.
But leave it in, leave,
See what the rest
yeah,
of it looks
leave it
like.
in, that,
But this, the other thing, I don't know, you probably saw it on there, but sometimes you just look across the, it is CoStar, so we don't need to go out for bid.
okay.
So
Right.
that's CoStar. It's already been bid.
It's already, yeah. Well, I see they already
They
have,
already gave us the
They
discount.
already gave the
Yeah,
discount or
they gave us
whatever off the
discount. You
mower,
would not
so-
get this if you went to
yeah.
there as an.
Well, that's what, I
individual.
can't believe the tractor discount was
Isn't
that
that
much.
something? Yeah, isn't that something?
How
Yeah,
does that work, though?
And then there's no tax on that.
and there's no
Right,
tax
there's no
on it.
tax.
If it's purchased through CoStar?
Oh, no, we don't pay.
Well, there's no
tax.
tax,
Oh, that's
there's
right,
no
we
tax
pay
period,
tax anyway,
so,
that's
but,
Yeah, how can they sell it?
That's what they do.
I
But
don't
an
know.
individual-
Because that's how big the markup is, Jim. Come on, you know that.
Oh, but
I mean,
are they getting subsidized in some other way, and so 20%?
Well,
they get
supposedly
from
the state's
taxpayers.
buying through them, so they're selling,
they're selling a lot of equipment, I'm sure. I mean,
so maybe they buy a
Well,
railroad car full. I don't, you ever see them going down the
Oh, yeah.
railroad car?
no, those are all going to Baltimore for export. They're not going to this
Oh,
country.
okay.
That's where those are all going that are there.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, they're all going out of the country because nothing runs like they do.
No more
Okay.
equipment, we already have equipment in our house.
He wants a new toy.
No, he uses his stuff very, very much, so it's
Yeah.
needed.
Well, I just,
Can we get that
Yeah.
memorialized and,
Strike that from the record.
okay, where are we at next?
Okay, I'll leave that on then.
Yeah, leave.
And then the roads contractor service, I'm gonna wait till I get a better estimate. Hopefully next week you can get with Rick Levan, because he did say to me after you had gone, you had to leave, he did say, tell Brad to call me, I'll come back out, because I think he knew he didn't give us really enough detail.
That's 450. 450.
No, it's on page 4, and it's 0143910 road construction overlay.
Oh, that's different
right
than
here.
road
Yeah.
contracted
And
services.
roads contracted services is, that would be like Mark Weber, or whoever, you would get to come in to do work on your roads. Crane company or something,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So I didn't feel comfortable putting anything in there because I'm not sure.
Okay.
I
Did
wanted
you
a
say-
better, I wanted a better estimate.
Well, no, when did you say we would get something more?
I'm
Hopefully
hoping
next
next week that he
Oh.
can get with Rick Levan again. I have the 2 roads, but I don't, I'm hoping that, what road did you guys say?
Oh, the end of
Reed.
Reed.
Yeah, check that one out.
I have it. What?
You have it written down, yeah, that would be a good one. Because if we do pull some of the art monies in, and now you're telling me we're possibly getting 25,000 for
That's what
the
they
tractor,
just told
the
me.
old tractor.
Yeah.
Even if we get 20,000, that's gonna extend our
That'll be a little
art
better, yeah.
monies, a little bit more. So, I don't know, you never know, Zach, it's a budget, but if you plan, you can try to plan to get a few more roads done and get them off of my yellow thing, all the ones that are in yellow. Okay. Well, I think we're done then pretty much with the general fund. I think we can move, that'll give me some things to go on, and I should, now, once I get the taxes, because that's the revenue, we gotta see where we're going with that. And now that you gave me that 25,000, I think we're pretty good. So, may not need anything from capital reserve other than the art monies. Unless something unexpectedly comes up soon, but anyway, I think we're good. I think I have what I need for that. Okay, let's go to the solid waste fund, which is page 5. And, where's my paper? Okay, there's approximately 140 seniors that are paying senior rate and 775 regular billers. We have some delinquents, of course, you always do. So we're looking at about, what we budgeted was about 206,200. And I think that's approximately what we're going to anticipate to come in. If you see it on your, I anticipated 206,000. And if you look down below, and I don't have the salaries in there yet, miscellaneous I'm not worried about, that's only $20 to $25, but it's the main salaries I do not have in there yet, and it's already at 241,000. But that's because you just like Charles was saying from Marysville, we're looking at almost a 10% increase in our trash contract. It was like 9.87, something like that. So you must have said 10%. and it was like $18,000. So if you look at what we had before was $239,000, and I'm up to almost $242,000 already, and that doesn't include the salaries. The other part of it looks good. Oh, before I forget, do you have anything before I hit you with something?
I don't know, but go ahead.
Okay, I had an email from Keystone. They do not want to renew our contract for billing.
Okay.
And I said, I mean, every time I'm around Jason, he's the main guy who came out here, and they've been, he's really great. He's an attorney there, but he's also like a marketing, he's always at all of the conventions. So he's always telling me, help me to get in with your earned income. I said, I can't do that. And he's always asking for more business. Well, I was just shocked. And I said, what's up? Did something happen? And he said, no. They're just trying to get rid of their little utility billings. That we're not the only ones they're doing away with when the contract goes for renewal. They'd rather just be a tax agency. And sometimes what has happened, they've had some new hire girls in their customer service. Our trash people have called there because they call me, and they're saying, we don't have an account for tax collection for Rye, and they don't. So, so I think that's what it is. We're such a small little account to them that I'm thinking, my thinking is sometimes the small fish are important, but apparently they want to do away with it. I think it is a lot of work. I'm always, every week, I'm emailing
When does the
them.
contract end?
March 31st, April 1st, we're gonna have to have a new.
Of 2024.
2024. He said, oh, we can let you out early if you like. I said, no, I don't think so. I said, between now and Christmas, I don't think so. Because, we bill quarterly, so we have to be
Yeah.
up and ready to go. And I'm thinking, I'm not spending Christmas here doing.
What other options do you have?
He said he would help us find some other companies. I have 2 or 3 companies he's given me names. And I just wanted to tell you guys before I would ever call anybody, so I can try to talk to them. And Keystone said they would try to make it as smooth a transition as possible for us and for that company. One of them is the J.P. Harris that does our per capita billing. And the other one, I can't remember, it's a name I didn't know. I've seen it, but I don't really know them. J.P. Harris is in Mechanicsburg. Now, they're very small. Yeah, so are we. But trash billing is a headache. It's a headache here. Like I said, I'm always emailing these poor girls over there. Trash changes, we have changes. People turn 65, they're retired, they want to go on the senior billing. Or sometimes the seniors are saying, we gotta go back, my grandson's now living with us, or my brother's living with us, I gotta change. So I'm getting changes all the time. But anyway, I know.
It's all gotta be computerized, come on.
I know, but the work, they're not just doing Rye Township,
Yeah, well,
and then sometimes they miss them.
but if you're in the business of collecting
I
things, that
know.
should be,
We've had glitches every year where people that I've changed the fourth quarter, say they
Uh-huh.
went to senior or
Right.
somebody new moved in.
when it rolls around to the
When
fourth
it
quarter of the
rolls
next
around
year,
and
it's
they
back
merge them,
the way it was.
goes back to like the second or third quarter. And they did say there was a glitch in their software, and now they fixed it. Because this is the second year that I've had buku calls in January because, I got the right bill in the fourth, but now we're back to the regular rate, So, I hope they got it straightened out. We won't have to deal with it much longer. but-
Okay, but yeah, if you could contact that J.P. Harrison.
And-
Contact
Yeah.
them,
Yeah, I
and
don't know what
I'll
else.
try to I'll contact all of them.
Yeah.
He gave me
Yeah.
another Harris too, there's another Harris, that does billing. I don't know if it's a relative, but they'll do small utility billing. We could always try in-house, but you're gonna have to hire somebody to do that, because there's no way that Nancy doesn't want it, I can tell you that. So you would have to hire somebody, to come in and do that, if you did utility billings. I believe our software does have that module available. What it costs, I have no idea.
How many hours a week?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, to do the billing, I really have no idea because they do that. Now, right now, we do the commercial billing in-house. That doesn't take long. We have it on the computer, we get it on. And I do the low income, which you're saying, three people, three families, or three people. So, we do that just because I didn't want that messed up. And you can keep better control, and we don't have that many. We have like 7 commercial, 7 or 8, I don't know. I think there is an extra one now because somebody wanted a low rate commercial. They wanted 2 cans. So. We had a couple people, remember you had to take, and Brad, the guys are taking cans out for people too, so they know how much the people are calling with different things to change, but I will check and then we can weigh that next time.
Okay.
But I did increase it to 7,500. But anyway, back to the concern is with the amounts. And there was money taken out of reserves last year on our final audited financial statement. If you look in the first column there, that the auditors was $2,200. And the year before, there was also money taken out. I don't have that figure here, so I don't want to misquote. But we are taking out of reserve, not what we thought. This year I had $30,000 budgeted. I'm hoping, I always budget more for the reserve than what I think we're going to need. But you just never know with the payments and with the COVID thing. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. So, no. So anyway, my thought is that we really should increase the trash by at least a couple dollars to keep, I know John keeps preaching, he said we were preaching, but he keeps preaching too about the reserves. And it's true, we do have some reserves there. But if you look at the amount of reserves we have and the amount of the budget, we have about 1 year's worth of reserves. So you don't want to go down to that. Just like what if we would have to start in-house? What if we would have to have somebody more full-time? I mean, you got to look ahead. There are things 5 years down the road that none of us could have ever thought of. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. So you don't want to deplete all of your reserves. No, we're not keeping up with inflation. That's true. Everybody knows that. Personally, I know that. I mean, everybody knows your 401ks and your retirement is just not keeping up. Even our retirement from PMRS is 5.25%. So you're not keeping up with the inflation that was 8% last year. Maybe this year will keep up, I don't know. But, so what are your thoughts? I guess I'm back to what your thoughts about, right now it's $45 for seniors and $56 for regular. And the low income is only 3 people and it's $32, so I'm not so worried about that. We just bump it up a little bit. It's only 3 people, that is not gonna make or break us, but, I was looking at $47 for seniors, which would give us $26,320 if you take it by 140. And, the 775 at, I don't know if that's 58 or 59. But anyhow, it was $179,800, and that's $206,120. And that doesn't include interest, penalties, and delinquent collections, which is why we get more than what comes in. You know what I'm saying? Why we get more than what, you can't just figure a complete, say, okay, 140, 775, this is what we're going to get. No, because some don't pay, and some pay with penalty. Some people just pay late, and they'll pay that month, quarterly, they'll pay a month late. They might forget, whatever, but that's where you'll gain a little bit more revenue, nothing substantial, but you do gain. We did just get a big, one of our big accounts that was like $2,000 in arrears paid because they were doing a refinance. So the bank made them pay all the liens. We have liens on these accounts. So the ones that are up that high, we have liens on them. So that, you don't know when you're gonna get a windfall like that, you can't count on it always, but it's always helpful when we do, and we usually get some, obviously. Keystone has been doing pretty well with the delinquent collections for us. They consider delinquent, they're not thinking somebody that missed a quarter. Delinquent has to go over a certain amount, to be, it can't just be, that's past due. But if it goes over that, then it's delinquent, so, but we do have some that are well over $500. Last I checked, it was a little over $10,000 in arrears that was owed us. I know. I guess that's the way it always is. And even if you, like, when you figure your tax levy, you figure 2% discount. I think most places that I've looked at some of their budgets, they're only using 93-94%. Because you just don't get, you never get, that's ideal, you never get 100%. Yeah, you got your little calculator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4. Don't forget to do by 4. You do
Mm-hmm.
a quarter and then you do it by 4. So. And then it's 50, what did I say, 58?
No, I'm taking a different approach here.
Yes, it was 58 I went by. I didn't write down, I went by, I did the 179. Or we could go with,
So it's +2 on both of them.
Yeah, it's plus $2. So that would be, so for 4 quarters, that would be $8 extra times 915 accounts. Right? That's
yes.
what it is.
So you're doing.
That's $7,320.
That's
for
not that
70
much.
For $7,320, I think we ought to take that out of the reserves. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
No, that's using that plus the reserve, Sean. Because if you look here, you see it's, we don't have the salaries in there yet, and I just put that formula in there, even though the budget isn't complete yet. We got almost 242,000, and up here, if we put in only 7,300 more, you're only gonna have 213,000, plus you got, just say 3 is 216,000, you're really off. So you're gonna, you see what I'm saying? You see what, did I go through that too fast? Okay, so add 7,300, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
So you have,
It's 213, it's 213,720.
just say 215,000, and
Yeah.
add 3 to it,
Yeah, it's 218.
218,000, so you're down here and we don't have salaries in it yet. Because this went up 18,000.
No, okay.
So even with that increase, you're going to have to use reserves.
So
That's what we've been doing, is doing a little increase.
+2 is keeping us even.
Even.
Yes, it's that way we're not getting further behind, that we have to use more reserves.
So how much did you figure we'd have to take from reserves?
I didn't.
You didn't have anything
No,
in
until
there?
I get the salaries in there, I won't
Okay.
know. Last year I had 30,000, but I'm hoping I don't have
Have
to
to go
use
that far.
Yeah, not until I get I never know exactly what collection's going to be,
Well,
like you
yeah,
said, till
yeah.
Keystone does their final.
Yeah,
I don't know.
which would have just gone out, right?
They just went out,
Yeah.
yes. So, I'll get a nice amount. A lot of people pay annually, because they don't want to forget it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a done deal. I guess they think if we raise it, then we won't have to pay. Well, we don't, ours
No.
goes from January to January.
Yeah.
But now our contract goes up again next year, remember that? So, you try to keep,
Well, right,
Try to
because
keep
it
that
doesn't
in
hold,
mind,
it doesn't
too.
hold steady, right? It changes.
right, it isn't gonna stay, so, you might wanna do $1 next year, I don't know. But you're gonna have to keep moving it up so that we so we can gradually allow those reserves to
To
go.
go, right.
And insulate the fund. And from what I understand from checking other communities, now they do have the bulk items, they do have maybe recycling, but ours is very low.
Ours is low.
Mhm.
Well, compared to Marysville, it's definitely low.
Oh, yeah, now they do have the bulk item and recycling, but even so, that's more than double.
They don't have to clean up then, do they?
They don't have the cleanup, no. That's true.
But that's different since that's a
But we do have the
borough.
cardboard recycling too,
Yeah.
that's a
Right,
little bit of a service there. It's been, I think it's been more people there this year. Yeah, you know, I think they've been using it more. So, my recommendation is $2 or $3. Maybe $2 with a
Say
senior
$2.
and $3 for the regular, or you wanna keep it even?
even, I'd say even,
$2?
but,
Well, you can't touch.
yeah,
Again, because it just keeps us level, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like we're,
yeah.
Yeah, because it's cost is the cost.
yes, I
Yeah,
think
unfortunately, we
it's-
got no control over that.
And like I said, it's going up again next year,
Right,
the contract
yeah.
goes up another, what, 10? No, it's not 10. 5 or 6%.
Yeah.
It's going up again, it's
Yeah,
not 1.
well, it's not gonna come down, it's gonna go up. I mean,
Well, there's costs of doing this, I mean.
Right,
That's,
I mean-
that's $2 per quarter, and I'm not trying to minimize, but I mean, it's $2 a quarter,
That's
so $8, like you said. That's
that's,
$8, and whether we do the tractor or not, 172,000 divided by all those accounts, is
Yeah.
$188.
right, so,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I don't think it's unreasonable to.
Plus, if Keystone, when we replace Keystone, we don't know how much it's gonna cost with another
Right.
company.
well, right, I mean,
I
Daisy's
did-
best guess is
That's
I
always
always
75,
put
so I mean,
7,500. They have not increased their cost to us since we went with them.
So, yeah, I anticipate that's gonna be a lot higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Split the two and see where,
It's
Yeah.
$6.55 a household,
right,
really.
yeah,
I know, they've been really good to us, but they wanna drop the little account, so yeah.
2 and 2.
yeah, 2
All
and
right.
2,
2 and 2, and then we'll just take whatever from reserves,
to make up the
to
difference.
make up the difference if it's more than, I had 7,500, I just guessed. But, I know it's gonna go up, there's no doubt, because I think it would've went up with Keystone also, because like I said, they have not, we went over with them in April of 2016,
Yeah,
so it's been a while. It's been a while, and they have not raised, now they raised the postage, you know, as the post office.
right, well, yeah, right,
That gets raised, but
Right.
as far as, they only
Their
charge
actual-
us,
yeah,
yeah,
their actual
cost
labor
for-
part
per
of it,
bill, they have
yeah.
not raised it, so they've been very good to us. I didn't want to see them go, but, and now I know some of the girls there, so I know the ones that do their job. So, anyway, okay, well, that's good. We'll get that, I will let you know how I make out, and, see if they're interested. But he did say, let me know if you, Jason said, let me know if you run into trouble, like when I get hold of these companies, he said, we'll try to be of service any way we can.
Okay. Very nice.
Yes, very nice. And, so, anyway, that's about, I think that's about all. Oh, I did wanna let you know what salt is. One thing we have to talk about, I mean, not what salt is, but the price of salt.
well, yeah, no, we get it.
I'm sorry. Salt went from around $76 a ton to $93.42 a ton for salt. So,
To 93, is that?
$93.42. The highest was Juniata, oh no, I'm sorry, Mifflin at $100.30 a ton.
That's really good salt.
Kosher.
That's
Yeah.
kosher,
Yeah.
okay. Are there a lot of Jewish people in Mifflin?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now, if you lived up near the border near, New York.
New York, it would
that's
probably be
there.
cheaper,
It is. Erie's only $54. We haven't seen that price for years, but anyway, we're looking at,
Well, that's the CoStar's price, I'm assuming, or the,
yes,
or the.
yes, it's the CoStar's price.
Yeah,
We're in with them, so we have to get at least 60% of our contract. And we have 140 tons that we have contracted for. But we only are obligated to about 84 tons. I figured
You
that.
can never estimate what the wind is.
No, you never know. And like
Yeah,
Brad
that's
said,
only, that's 84%.
you might not have a lot of snow, but that doesn't mean you don't need to use a lot of.
Well, if you get ice and that
You
kind of
get ice
stuff,
and
you're,
mess.
actually, if you get ice, you're gonna blow through it faster,
Anytime you go
probably.
through, anytime you go out, you gotta use yourself.
Yeah, you can't not.
No.
I
Years
mean,
ago, did we not talk about a salt shed, different salt shed being needed?
Well,
Well, that, but I don't know where that ever landed. I know we didn't build one, but.
no, I always wanted to get one, that one's kind of built real dumb because it's not towards the sun.
That's.
That's
And then
what,
it all
yeah.
gets hard.
That's true.
It should be facing the sun.
Well,
It
yeah.
all go towards the sun.
Yeah,
That one's
it
not.
should be facing south.
Right.
Should be facing due south.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And then what happens, it all clumps up and then it's got great big clumps in it. And then we have to pull it out, run over it with the backhoe, dump it down with a bucket.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've been
Something
doing.
like that cost, do you think?
I don't know what it costs, maybe just put something like that up.
Well, they talked about using what you have there, but then you'll lose your equipment storage
Yeah.
protection.
you have to do that.
Is it right next to that side of the, no.
Well, that was something I wanted to ask for general fund. What about,
Garage heater? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, you
You could get that.
that's,
I
is
think
that
that's-
in there? We were gonna do, did I put that in on the arts?
I don't know, but I thought I
It's
seen
not on
it.
the art.
No,
It's
it's
not
not
on
on
the
here.
art. How much was that? We're gonna do that this year, Brad?
Well, I think we need to do it, right?
Then we got a quote for it this year, but then
And they're gonna hold that quote
we had all
for
that
us.
trouble with the truck, so we didn't,
I
because we didn't
know.
know how much we were gonna be spending
But
there.
that's a safety. I mean,
That's,
we've got a whole
yeah.
food burner. We need to
And
get
then
that.
you got carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Yeah, carbon monoxide. Yeah.
Monoxide, whatever it is. You don't need that.
No, you can't have that.
Well, we have a quote, and they said, we got it from, what was the name of that place? Comfort Tech.
Yeah.
Comfort Tech used to be on Flowers
Yeah,
Right
Lane.
beside you,
Okay.
And he went out,
Okay.
but the
His
guy that
employee.
took over said he would honor the quote for us.
Oh, where's he, what company is that now?
Oh, what's the name of that company now?
I
I
forget what it was.
don't remember. I don't think I have that somewhere, that quote.
Yeah.
Is that like $5,000?
Like I say,
You
how
might
big?
as
How
well say
big?
5,000, I think it was 4,000 or something.
Okay.
But we had to buy the heater. We were gonna go purchase the heater.
And they were gonna put it in.
Yeah, and I think you got a price for the heater at Baker's.
Yeah, that's probably.
Hey, I'm sorry, $5,000 is for them to install it, we buy the heater?
No, it wasn't 5,000, it was
I don't know what the
so like
heater was.
1,100?
No, it wasn't,
Yeah,
it was
it's
around
around
1,100 to put it in,
To put it in.
but the
Okay,
heater
to
was
install.
pretty
To
expensive.
make, yeah.
The heater was around 4,000 or 5,000,
Yeah.
between 4,000 and 5,000.
Well, regardless of the budget, that's something we should do.
I-
Taste.
Yeah, I would think so.
We put it off for a couple
Before it
years.
gets really cold.
And the tires you were talking about,
Yeah, we definitely need tires on the truck.
before,
Okay.
what, by December?
Oh my God, yeah, I wanna get them ordered.
Oh, yeah,
I have
that's
to get them
true.
ordered so they get them in.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Can you even get it? Can you even get
I
them?
didn't know, I didn't try that yet.
And sometimes there's a co-star's price, remember that, we got them cheaper than you ever thought that one time.
What do you did here?
Oh, yeah, good news.
No, $500.
Well, I think, yeah, it'll be around that, yeah. I think it's gonna be around, it'll be close, probably $3,000 to get them tires.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Firestones don't,
No, these here ones here have the best bite. We tried all different kinds and
That's
these
why I'm
work
asking.
good. They said the state uses the same thing.
Okay.
And they have good luck with it.
Well, we should do co-stars on them.
okay, yeah.
The
Both of
councilman,
those done.
councilman, what for rubber they're using too, that counts,
Right.
that counts
It's
a
a
lot.
softer rubber.
Yeah, so,
Helps out a lot.
so it helps, yeah.
So go ahead and order them.
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, and check on the furnace.
Yeah,
That's the big
before,
priority.
before we get Caught with our pants
I
down,
think
yeah,
that
I
book
mean,
has the number of that heater we need.
It does, it
We'll have to
does.
call Fagers and order that.
I think it's in my expenses,
Yeah, we'll
I'm
do.
not sure.
I hope they don't have to get one from China.
Who's doing the install? Oh, that comfort guy.
Yeah, it used to be called.
It was
His name
Comfort.
was Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin with Comfort Tech, but, and I don't know if he's going to help or not, but, I forget the guy's name, or for his company, I don't remember, he's just new, so I've never heard of him, but he took over, he was an employee
Yeah.
with Comfort.
So he basically took the business over.
Right,
took the business
so
over.
he's used to working, and I
Mhm.
think Kevin's been kind of helping him, mentoring him, a little bit there. But he said he would, I guess Kevin talked to him, and he said, I will honor the quote for Rye Township that was given to you, so. Kevin's a really nice
Yeah.
man, very, he did all the work up at the church, too, so. Yeah. Anything else that I'm forgetting, or any questions? No? I'll have a more complete, I'll have more things complete now that I have more information. But we'll get with Rick Levan, if you can,
I'll call him next week.
yeah,
I'll
that's right. Unless you want me to call him, just,
call him. That's something else.
okay.
I'll just.
Because we're closed, I'm sure he's closed Monday. He might not even be in tomorrow. He might take a long weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know.
Yeah, right.
But I'm sure if we tell him, hey, we need this, try to get it to me, so we're dealing with budget here, so. Okay, I thank you very much for the information, and I will do my best. But my job description doesn't say miracle work.
Yeah, that's,
I'll do the best I can.
well, since we don't have the luxury of being able to print our own money,
Yeah. Okay.
like some of the
That's
other.
If you want to pass that down, that's the stuff from the fire company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin,
This is from the fire chief, yes,
Okay.
he dropped it off.
did, he indicated that this is the same information that Alex presented, or this is?
He didn't give me the presentation about all of the equipment and stuff, like all that detail Alex had.
Yeah,
I didn't get
yeah, I
any
thought Alex had
information
a
on
nice
it.
summary, that's why I was.
Yeah, I did not get that from him.
Okay, I'll reach out to him, see about having him send that in to us.
Yeah, yeah, he has, even if if it's handwritten, I don't care, we can copy it and, at least you can read what he was saying, because he gave a lot of details.
Okay.
So, that's all I have for you.
We're done for this evening?
I think so. I think we just have to go back and start doing some more work here.
Motion to adjourn?
So I'll second.
John, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.